Hey friends, it's me, Em again, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things sinister. If you're interested in true crime or if you like all things horror related, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That way you can join me for some morbid conversation. Friendly reminder, I donated blood today. And this is your friendly reminder that we are currently in a blood shortage. I know it has nothing to do with true crime. I guess not directly. I mean, we do talk a lot about blood and gore and stuff. But we are in a blood shortage right now. So if you're able to, ready, willing, and able to, make sure you get out there, find a local blood drive, go to the American Cross, see if you can't help out in some way and donate blood. Get your sticker. All right? That's just your friendly reminder. All right. And so for today, we are going to be talking about 5 pictures with a morbid or disturbing backstory. And we will get started right now. So this first picture looks like an innocent family picture, but the man in the yellow sweater actually has a pretty morbid secret. The man was serial killer and conman John Edward Robinson, and the baby he is holding is a young girl named Tiffany Stacy. Robinson had just killed her mother the day before and had given the baby to his brother and sister-in-law who had been attempting to adopt a child but were so far unable to. All they would have to do is pay $5,500 in legal fees, and they would be presented with authentic-looking adoption papers that had been convincingly forged. It wouldn't be until 15 years later when a DNA test confirmed her identity. Up until that point, the family had no idea how she actually came into their lives. Here's a picture of a group of young kids and adults in the early 70s. It's actually a rather large family and they're on holiday together, this time in Sweden. If you look to the lower left of the picture, you'll see a young man sitting on the hood of a car wearing a brown shirt and tan pants. Although only 14 years old in this picture, the young boy would end up growing up and having a name and reputation known throughout the world as a leader of the pan-Islamic militant group Al-Qaeda, gaining most of his notoriety when he planned the terrorist attacks of 9/11. Osama bin Laden would end up being shot and killed by the U.S. Navy SEALs 40 years after this picture was taken. At first glance, this picture looks like a couple of friends who might be sharing an inside joke, but if you look closer, you'll notice the handcuffs on the wrist, which indicates something a little bit more sinister and a little bit less lighthearted. The 2 men in this photograph are Richard Hickok and Perry Smith, who had just killed an entire family of 4, including their 2 children, before robbing the home and coming up short, and only making out with about $50. This picture is extra unnerving when you find out that this picture was taken not long after hearing that they would be sentenced to death, a sentence that would normally have someone terrified. Instead of looking terrified or scared at all, Perry is smiling like he hasn't got a care in the world. Now, this picture doesn't look bizarre or abnormal in any way, but if you know the backstory behind it, it is absolutely heartbreaking. And to be honest, it is one of the hardest ones for me to talk about on this list because, as you guys know, I am a mama. The young boy in this picture walking away from the camera is 2-year-old James Bulgar, who at the time was reported as a missing child. When security cameras found video of James walking hand in hand with other children, it should have been a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, James was walking with Robert Thompson and John Venables, 2 10-year-old boys. Those boys would later go on to torture James extensively before killing him and leaving his body on train tracks in hopes of a train being able to cover up their crime. The 2 boys were found guilty on November 24th, 1993, making them the youngest convicted murderers of the 20th century. This picture looks like it might be a moving day photo or maybe an appliance delivery team unloading a refrigerator. But what it actually is are police officers loading a refrigerator to take with them as evidence. Inside the refrigerator, police found countless body parts and skulls as only one part of the grisly scene that they would be cataloging that day. The fridge belonged to none other than notorious serial killer and cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer, who would plead guilty to 15 counts of murder and be sentenced to several life sentences, given that the death penalty was not an option in his home state. However, Dahmer would be attacked in prison by another inmate, and though he did not die in the prison, he was transferred to the hospital for treatment, but would end up passing in the hospital from the attack in 1994, just less than 3 years after actually being sentenced. There you have it. Those are 5 pictures that kind of look normal, don't really look sinister at all, but when you hear the background story or when you hear a little bit more about them, they take on a more morbid outlook. Okay, friends, remember, if this is the kind of content that you are interested in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell. That way you'll be notified the next time I sit down right here to have another morbid conversation. As always, take care. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Until then, bye.